Close your eyes. Picture waking up tomorrow morning only to find every continent gone. Asia, Africa, Europe, the Americas all swallowed by the oceans overnight. The dry land we have lived on for millions of years, erased. What would happen to Earth if the continents sank into the sea? First the flood. Billions of people would not even have seconds to react. Skyscrapers, cities, farmlands, everything would vanish under roaring walls of water. The coastlines wouldn't just shift, they would cease to exist. The highest mountains, the deepest valleys gone. Drowned beneath a single endless ocean, Earth would no longer be a planet of blue and green. It would be a world of nothing but blue. Civilization would collapse instantly. Governments, borders, nations wiped away with the land itself. Humanity would be reduced to survivors, clinging to rafts, ships, and floating debris. The last traces of history are our monuments, our libraries, our homes buried beneath miles of water. A reset button pressed on human existence. But the terror wouldn't end there. With the continents gone, Earth's balance would be shattered, oceans drive weather, and now an ocean covering everything. Storms would become endless. Mega hurricanes the size of countries would circle the globe. And broken by land, tsunamis would have nowhere to crash. Waves rolling endlessly across the planet. Lightning storms would rage for centuries, turning the skies into fire. And what about survival? With no land, no soil, no crops, humanity would face starvation. Farming would vanish. Livestock would drown. The only food left would be the sea itself. Fishing fleets would turn into the last kingdoms of Earth, their power measured not by land, but by how many nets they could cast. Humans would become nomads of the water, building floating cities, scavenging the ocean for survival. But the oceans are not empty. The deep is home to predators, to creatures we barely understand. Sharks, giant squid, monsters of the abyss. Suddenly, they would rule the planet. Humanity, once rulers of land, would find itself as prey in a world owned by the sea. And yet life would adapt. Perhaps we would learn to build massive floating colonies, vast arcs carrying entire populations across the endless waves. Perhaps we would turn to science, farming algae, harvesting energy from storms, building new civilizations on the water's surface. Humanity would survive but as a species of the sea, not of the land. But let's not forget Earth itself. Continents aren't just land, they balance the planet's crust. Without them, Earth's geology would go mad. Volcanoes would erupt under the ocean. Earthquakes would tear across the seafloor. Entire new land masses might rise from the depths, islands born in fire, only to be swallowed again by the waves. The planet would never be stable, it would be chaos. Forever shifting. Culturally, the loss would be devastating. Every story, every religion, every piece of history tied to the land, Jerusalem, Mecca, Rome, the pyramids, the Great Wall gone. Humanity's memory would lie beneath the waves. We would be forced to start over. A new world with no past, only survival. So, what if the continent sank into the sea overnight? Humanity would face extinction. Our history would vanish. Our civilizations would drown. And Earth would be transformed into an ocean planet, alien to everything we once knew. But maybe, just maybe, we would rise again. Floating cities, storm-proof civilizations. Humans born to the sea, a species that once walked the land, now ruled by the water. Because even if Earth itself tried to erase us, there is one thing the ocean could never drown: the will to survive.